Hey everybody, welcome back to the DIY Laboratory channel, where we do a lot of DIY projects around the house. In this video, we are going to use this Weld WaterWeld product because I had a little mishap during one of our renovations of our restroom. If you want to check that video out, look at our channel and you can search for home renovation and you should be able to find that video. But let me show you what happened during that renovation. Alright, so during our renovation, our restroom, tool fell right down onto our bathroom tub. So now we have this little nick at the bottom, and if I don't do anything about it, it will definitely leak water. And we don't want that. So just a quick look. This is the renovation. Got some new flooring, board and batten, new toilet. Did the new sink, backsplash, painted the counter or cabinet. So yeah, just a quick one, but this really annoys me. Alright, so using this Weld WaterWeld product, it's pretty straightforward. They list it down to 3 instructions. First step is to cut the amount of epoxy needed. Step 2, mix it. Wear some gloves and you would knead it thoroughly, making sure that the color becomes uniform, and then you apply whatever amount you need onto the surface that you want to prepare. Now, for best result to have an asterisk is to first clean the area and then roughen the surface, so sand it with some really coarse sandpaper to provide the best repair. So I want the best repair, so I will be doing that. I will be cleaning it and then sanding it prep for this product. So I just have a regular 80 grit sandpaper. I'm going to rough up the surface around it. And then I'm going to go ahead and clean it. Now while that's drying a little bit, even though this can be used underwater, you don't let that dry. In the meantime, I'm going to take this packaging apart. And it comes in this tube here. So we'll go ahead and do a little trash pile, take this off. And I only need a little bit, so that's all I'm going to do is take a small amount. Here we go. I'm going to peel this back a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and knead it. Really work it through. Now it says the set time is 25 minutes and the cure time is 1 hour. Just gonna continue rolling it between my hands, flatten it, roll back. I would say it has a pretty good consistent color. So that's step 2. Mix wearing gloves, thoroughly knead putty with fingers to a uniform color, and then apply. Alright, I'm just gonna turn off a little piece here, really get it in there. It does have a smell, so make sure you try to work in an open ventilation or have your fan running. Really want to get it in there. Or some excess they don't need. Alright, so it does say after curing, it can be drilled, tapped, filed, sanded, and painted. So we're gonna let it cure for at least the 1 hour. And we'll come back to it. For the remaining, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this little cap back on. Wrap it back up. Gonna close that off a little bit. And yeah, we'll see it in a few hours. Alright, now that it has cured for several hours, this is what it looks like. You can tell that there's some discoloration. The box does say that it cures kind of an off-white color. Of course, the tub is a different shade of white. So I do have a touch-up paint that I'll use to kind of blend it in a little bit better. But first, I'll have to sand this down a little bit, smooth it out, and then paint it. Just a quick little update. So I went ahead after sanding it with the 220 grit. I did go over it with an 800 grit, and then 1000, and then 1500 grit sandpaper. It's really smooth now. Looks really good. I am now contemplating whether or not I want to touch up the paint because it is subtle. I will have to add some kind of clear coat or something just to give it some protection, but maybe I will do the touch-up paint epoxy product. I'm not sure yet. Another thing I found out was there was a little pinhole here during my when I dropped the tool. It made a little tiny hole here as well, so I did go through and patch that up, smooth it out with the same process, and it looks really good. So now I just need to touch it up with that epoxy and let that cure. I don't know if it's hard to tell. Kind of hard to tell if I don't point at it, but there's that. It's really nice and smooth. And so far, I'm happy with the results. Alright, so this is the other product I will be using to touch up the color. Now this is Rust-Oelum Tub and Tile Touch Up. It comes with 2 vials, part A and part B. I think the instructions are supposed to tell you that you mix the 2 in equal parts, or actually the entire container into one, mix it very well. But this is a lot of solution or epoxy that I don't need, so I will be using a portion of it. Based on what I can read for part A, that is 0.09 fluid ounce, part B is 0.45 fluid ounce, so looks like it's a 5-to-1 ratio. So what I'll do is try to approximately use the same ratio in a smaller quantity. But it's really simple to use. Clean the surface, let it dry. That's been done already. And initially you're supposed to mix each bottle by rolling it. So I'm just gonna shake it a little bit when I get there. And then step 3 is to pour all the contents of part A into part B. So that's when I'll grab some part B, put it into another container, part A in a 5-to-1 ratio, and then mix those up. So this is after 24 hours of mixing. Make sure to use it. Apply with even strokes for deep scratches. Apply multiple layers. Allow drying time of 10 minutes between coats. So there is a warning or some instructions that says do not use in constant high humidity or water immersion. I wouldn't consider this as constant immersion, but there will be some immersion. I think it would be fine. I'll just have to keep an eye on it and see if it washes off or not, because it does say that it's washable and moisture resistant, which is kind of confusing. I think it's washable when it's not mixed and set, but that part is not fully clear to me. So We'll try this out. Alright, so here's part B. I'm just gonna roll it between my hands. Just trying to make sure things are suspended or homogenized. If anything's settled. That's good. Do the same with part A. Alright, so what I have here is just some pipettes, a little container that I can make my mixture in, since I'm not using all of it. Now the instruction says to mix A into B. So what I'm going to do is add B in here first. Part B does come with the brush. So it was 5 to 1. Maybe we'll go with, let's see if we can get. Drop, 2, ooh, 3, 4, 5. Probably just gonna double it. It's about 10 drops. Now we're going to get part A. Two drops here. Have a little applicator stick, just gonna mix that. Alright, we should be ready to rock and roll. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply a small amount. I'm just dabbing it. I'm not really using a brush. It's such a small area. Just kind of wipe it and hopefully kind of feathers it a little bit all the way around that. Apply a little more. Alright, after the first coat, I did wait about 10 minutes, so I'm going to add the second coat. The camera's having a hard time trying to focus. So I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but it's right there and right there. Alright, I am done with this piece of the project. So camera might not pick it up, but here are the two spots that I patched. So after it cured a little bit, I went through with the same sanding process. I used an 80 grit, 220, 800, 1000, and then 1500 to try to get it as smooth as and level as possible. So now the tub repair, it is a gloss white. It doesn't really match the tub. That's okay. At this point, I kind of knew that was going to happen. I guess it's function over appearance, I guess. So we'll see how well it holds up, and maybe I'll do a video on how well it does in the future. Thanks for watching this video. I used two different products in this DIY. I used the WaterWeld WaterWeld to fix a crack in the tub, and then the Rust-Oelum tub and tile touch-up paint to try to match the color a little bit. If you like these type of videos where I do different DIYs, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video. See ya.